Hi, boys and girls. It's story time again. Our story today is it's not hot weather in our story like it is here. It's not summer. It's actually the dead of winter in Wisconsin. And the story is called Stuck. Well, Mother Burton was going all around her house as she did her work. She was watching through the little bitsy holes that was all that was really left of the iced-up windows of the house. She was going from window to window. And as she went, she was talking to God. She said, "Oh my, I've not seen a storm like this in many a day. What a blizzard out there. Oh God, you have to help them. You know how bad the blizzard is. You've got to help my husband bring our daughters home. And oh God, please, you know what would happen if they got stuck. Please don't let them get stuck." And she kept her walking all the way around inside that house, waiting for the sound of her husband to come home. Well, it had been about an hour since her husband had left to drive that 4 miles to the school. Now, their daughters, the 3 of them, they generally walked home, but not in this kind of weather. It was no place for little girls to be out. Well, Father, he had said he would go get them. He had put on all his winter clothes, and he'd gone out into the garage, carrying with him a tin can, a big tin can. And do you know what it was full of? It was full of coals from their wood stove. What would he do with that? Well, back in those days, the cars didn't have oil pan warmers that you could plug into the plug-in in your garage to make it easy for the car to start. No, he got underneath that car and he put that can of coals out of the stove underneath of it. And my, it was cold in that garage. And the heat from those coals kept going up underneath that oil pan. Well, after about 15, 20 minutes, Father had gotten in that car and he had turned the key. It was like a big boxy car, and it came right to life. It hummed. He thought, good. So he backed out and drove down that driveway into the snowstorm. Now, Father knew how to get over snowdrifts, big snowdrifts. He knew that you had to hit that accelerator, the gas pedal, as hard as you could hit it, maybe even putting it clear to the floor. And that big old car would go vroom, and it would hit those big snow drifts, and snow would fly everywhere. It wouldn't necessarily go through all of it, but at least enough that that big old car could go up and over, and it would start losing its momentum. And Father knew that he needed to hit that gas pedal again. Vim! And that big old car would hit that, and snow would fly everywhere out from under those wheels. Father knew how to get through snowdrifts. Well, he was very glad when he got off of the little side road that they lived on. He thought, if I can only get to the main road, I'm sure it won't be so bad. And when he got to the main road, it wasn't as bad. Oh, there were snowdrifts, but they weren't nearly as bad. And he, as quickly as he could go, made his way to that schoolhouse. When he got there, it was dismissal time. And Dad rushed right in, and he went over to his girls and he said, "You have to come quickly. The roads are really bad. It's not very safe. Hurry." So in just a matter of a couple minutes, the girls had their coats and their wraps and everything on, and they were safely in the back of that big old car. Well, Father, he hadn't turned the car off. He wanted that motor to keep running. And he started down that road. And just in that little bit of time of him going in and getting the girls, the snowdrifts were much higher. And the blizzard, the snow was going in circles round and round that big car. And looking out the window, you couldn't hardly see anything. Well, everybody in the community knew that if there was anybody that could get through snowdrifts and could get home from a blizzard, it was Mr. Burton. Well, when Mr. Burton had got in the car with his girls, he looked ahead of him and he once again put his foot on that gas pedal and he pushed it as hard as he could go, and that motor went zoom, and it hit the first snowdrift, and snow flew everywhere, and down the other side it went, and as it was going, Father knew that he didn't let it lose its momentum, or the car would die and he might not get it started again. So he pushed that gas pedal again. Over the next drift he went, through the next one. He kept going down that county road, always looking out of the side of his eyes to see if he could see where those telephone poles were. At least it kept him kind of in the road. Well, they finally came to that old country road that went off the side of the main road. The blizzard was much worse, much, much worse. At home, Mother was getting worried now. It was starting to get dark. She had been praying with every round she made, looking through those windows to see if that car was going to come home. And as she prayed, she kept telling God, "Oh, please don't let them get stuck. Don't let them get stuck. Who knows what would happen to them in that freezing cold and snow." Mother never stopped praying. And when Father got to that little country road that led them home, he knew that they were only about a mile from home now. A mile wasn't long, but a mile was a long ways in a blizzard. And Father kept thinking, "I'm sure Mother's praying for us girls," he said aloud. And the girls knew it was true. Father, he looked ahead, and those snowdrifts were even bigger than they had been when he had come through them. If he only knew where he'd hit him the first time, the snow might not be as packed. But there was no way of telling that. There was nothing to do but try. So he hit that gas pedal again, boom, with his foot. up the first side of the first drift, that car zoomed and hit the big snow pile on top, and snow flew everywhere. They kept doing that. And each one, that car kept going. It didn't stop. Then finally, Father came to the area on that road that he dreaded the most. The road went down, and the snowdrifts were deeper, and they had a bigger chance of being all just one after another. There was nothing Father could do but try. Mother was still at home playing. Don't let them get stuck. Oh God, please don't let them get stuck. Well, Father zoomed up the first part, and he hit that snow, and the snow burst, and he started down the other side and up the next side with his gas clear to the floor, and that car was going as hard as it could go. Zoom! And that car hit the side of that big snowbank. Boom! But no snow flew. The wheels had been going so fast they were just sitting there spinning in the snow. And they hit that snowbank, bearing the front of the car. And the car died. Father said, "Dead! Dead as a doornail! The engine's dead!" Oh! Well, Father, he never gave up easily. He told the girls, "You stay right here. I'm going out to see if maybe shoveling some snow will help." So he got the shovel out of the back of the car, and he set out in front of the car. But the car, oh, there was way too much snow, and the snowbank was packed hard like a rock. Father thought, maybe I should look ahead a little bit further. So he started walking. That snowbank was like one solid mountain of ice. And as he walked on top of it, right in front of him, half buried in that snowbank, was a logging truck full of big logs. And those logs were just at the level of where his little girls' heads were inside the car looking out. If the car had not stuck, the car, instead of being stuck in a snowbank, would have rammed as hard as that car could have gone into the back of that load of logs. And Father went, we would have been all killed. As Father walked back to his girls, he thought, if God protected us from such a big tragedy as this, surely he'll help us get the little distance home. So he bundled up his girls, and they started walking through that blizzard, through that cold, cold sub-zero temperatures, and all that whirling, whining, windy snow. Well, Mother, she was still praying. Don't let them get stuck. When she heard the back door bang open and 4 frozen, cold, hungry, exhausted people walked in the back door. And Mother was so excited, she went, "Oh my! I guess the wind of the storm was so bad I didn't even hear the car come." But before Father could tell the story, before anybody else could say anything, the littlest sister, she went, "Guess what, Mama? Guess what, Mama? God got us stuck in a snowbank." God got us stuck in a snowbank? Boys and girls, that is exactly what happened. Sometimes it seems like God isn't answering your prayers the way you asked them, but remember that God knows the end from the beginning, and He knows what to have happen. And in this case, He did. You can trust Him. Thank you, boys and girls, for being with me through another story. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye now.